Hi everyone, welcome back to Wurm Online. My name's Brian, that's my brother Adam, and we are the Factional Fight Brothers. Today we're back in the Labyrinth. We're going to continue working on completing it, hopefully. But we're going to discuss a controversial topic that's been making the rounds on the forums with the question, should Wurm get rid of RNG? Let's discuss it. All right, we're back. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks.
It's been another week of Wurm. I want to definitely get started on this bridge, so let's look at what we'll need. I have a range pull.
And I have a dioptra.
So let's hold it for you. It's not really in a holding position anymore. Didn't he used to hold it up?
Yeah, now it looks more like you're hammering with it.
I am hammering the range pull into the ground. That's a good position for it because it helps you figure out exactly how to align the bridge properly, I think. You need that motion. Anyway, it makes sense in Wurm, don't worry. So, the topic that's been going around, and before we do that, I think we should do a rope bridge here. Might look kind of nice. Anyway, so a topic got brought up on the forums. Can't remember where it was. This guy, he wanted to try Wurm. He ended up trying Wurm and seemed to enjoy it. And then he brought up one point that a lot of people didn't seem to like, or a big debate kind of swirled up on it, which is, and I read the debate, and it was kind of fascinating for me. Like, it just, I don't know, it just seemed like such a good debate. Mm-hmm. And essentially it comes down to this. So I'm playing Wurm, and I do actions. Like, that's essentially what Wurm is. We do actions for whatever we're doing. I'm doing an action right now by holding a range pull, which is a little bit different than any other action in Wurm. And for the actions that we do, we expect to get rewarded for those actions in some way or form. Let's say, for example, we expect to gain rewards for chopping down this tree. What are you chopping down? This bush?
It turns out that you cannot plant a bridge over a lavender bush.
Over a lavender bush, okay. That's why it hasn't been built. So anyway, you did that action. You expect something like wood chopping or something like that, right?
Yeah, get some skill.
So
get something.
Do an action, get some skill as a reward. Now, what this guy was saying was that Wurm has a RNG in it, which in this case is random number generator for people that don't know, which is usually referred to as a computer randomly generating a number to determine whether you get something or don't get something. Succeed or don't succeed. So like if the game said if you get above an 80 number, you will succeed. If you get below an 80 number, you don't succeed if it's between 1 and 100 or something as simple. Now, Wurm's not exactly like this. Hello, how are you?
I think you need to hold the...
I'm still there.
Are you holding the pole? Yeah. Oh, okay. You're not hammering anymore.
Oh, okay. On my screen I am.
Oh, okay.
So where was I? So that's what RNG is. Now, in this case, he wasn't really complaining about that, it seemed. More so than he was saying that Wurm shouldn't have actions in the game that either reward like fully reward you or don't reward you at all. So actions that can either reward you or don't reward you, like gambling in a casino, like doing a slot machine where you try to chop a tree like you did, and one action you don't get woodcutting skill. You do it again, you do get woodcutting skill. You do it again, and you don't get woodcutting skill. And it's like saying.
So was he wanting then
to
for you
have
to always get skill?
Always get skill.
Okay. Another question: should this bridge be 7% saggy or 12% saggy?
I want as little sag as possible. Don't you know me by now?
All right, let's make it 7.
Don't you know how I like my bridges? Okay.
Not really.
All right, so perfect. I'll come around.
All right. So from what I gather, it sounds like he wants for every action that you do to give you skill.
Correct.
Now, from my experience, when I'm skilling, or like if I set myself out to skill, I feel like I get, I can get like on average about half my actions giving me skill, like on average, and like over the course of like 100 actions, I'm going to get skill. And I feel like number generation or random number generation doesn't really factor into that all so much on the long run. Like, yeah, sure, I might go on a streak of like a few hits in a row that I'm not getting skill, but I don't know. Over the course of a half hour, if I do a half hour of mining now, I'm going to get the same amount of skill as if I did a half hour mining another time, Doesn't seem all too... I don't know. Doesn't really affect me all that much.
Yeah, and somebody did bring that up. But
okay,
how about this scenario?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have to say much. Meditation. Right? And for people that don't know, the few people there, meditation works very similar to other, let's say, harvesting skills. Somewhat. However, you can only do one meditation every 20 minutes. Is that what it is? And bless you there. The silent sneeze. So one meditation, you can do one every 20 minutes. Something like that. Right. Is that what it is? And
it's one every 30 minutes, actually.
One every 30 minutes. So during that one time that I could do it, the issue is now stretched out so much that it's like 1 in 30 minutes, you have a chance of getting skill or no skill. And that's where I think the problem really came into the forefront for this player.
Meditation definitely, it's a different beast altogether. I mean, 2-minute action timers and every 30 minutes, that's just like...
So, here, that brings back the question. Is it a problem? Should it be changed?
I mean, if it were to be changed, I just switch it to the Wurm Unlimited code, which kind of does what this person wants. They want it so that more consistently he's going to get skill, and over there, as long as you have a successful action, you're going to get skill. I don't know. There is still a little bit of random number generation because...
So what does a special action mean?
No, like a successful action.
Oh, successful action. So what does a successful action entail?
So a successful action is one where you... there's like different levels. Like, for example, you're mining and you have 70 mining skill and you're hitting a vein and you get a 70 quality ore. That's a successful action. I think actually anything above a 1 quality shard would be considered a successful action. Is that right?
Yeah. And you know what? People brought this up. And in essence, they said, well, it's not all or nothing. right? It's a whole bunch of factors that lead to whether you're successful in the skill tick or whether you're not successful in the skill tick. And like you were bringing up, like, you need to have a successful action, and you can do stuff before you even, try to chop that tree, before you even try to mine the rock.
Right.
You can set yourself up for success by following certain guidelines that Wurmians have found out that would allow you to succeed more and get more skill within a shorter amount of time. In essence, I mean, that's what our whole skill optimization, I mean, we did video on it.
Right.
So in saying that, we still have this meditation problem. We still have the issue that sometimes still, even though you can set yourself up for success, you still fail. Should you still fail?
I mean, maybe it's a matter of just switching meditation. It's not unheard of taking one skill and kind of changing it to make it different than the rest of them. Like, look at praying, for example. Praying works similarly to meditation, that in that you can only do 5 every day, and they have to be 20 minutes spread apart. And there, you get a skill tick every single time.
Yeah. That's true.
So maybe make meditation like more in line with praying.
So here's what this guy suggested. That instead of making it all or nothing, so let's use meditation as an example. Instead of making it, I'm either going to get a skill tick or not get a skill tick when I do meditation, do what you said, which was make it so you always get a skill tick if you do the action, but scale it back so each skill tick is less, just enough that it would still take the same amount of time to get your skill all the way to 100.
Right.
So every time you succeed, is that a solution?
It still feels like that he's talking about Wurm Unlimited code, like the way Wurm Unlimited works. To me, anyway.
But in Wurm Unlimited, you still have to succeed to get the skill tick.
But
every time you get a skill tick.
He wants it so that every time you get the same skill tick, regardless of the outcome.
Correct.
That seems kind of bland to me. Like, it'll take away a lot of the variance that you see. And it would just make, I hit a button, I get a cookie. I hit a button, I get another cookie. And it just keeps going like that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the whole we all play online games, right?
Yep.
We're all trying to mask our eyes, trying to immerse ourselves around the fact that all we're doing is clicking buttons over and over again and getting cookies
and getting these rewards.
Yeah. Doesn't matter RNG, no RNG. That's what we do, okay? So the more you can get into what we're actually doing and being more immersed into what you're doing, I mean, that's the goal there.
Right.
Now his thing is that he gets less immersed into Wurm because of the whole getting skill, not getting skill, gambling aspect, all or nothing of Wurm. So let's just go all out. Should Wurm change to make it so you always get skill results, or you always succeed in your action? Yes or no?
And you're asking me?
Yes.
I think no. I don't think so. I feel like that would just make it super boring, and
I think you said a lot of what the other people in Wurm also say. Okay.
yeah.
But
Okay.
can it work so that, how do I word this? Could they alter what we have so that RNG plays less of a factor?
And once again, I would say
But
the Wurm Unlimited sort of code is the way it is.
So you would say
Do that.
Wurm Unlimited is a good in between? If they changed it to the way Wurm Unlimited works on Wurm Online, would you be okay with that?
I know that there's going to be a lot of people who aren't okay with it, but I'd be okay with it. I'd totally be okay with it.
And just to be clear, the main changes in Wurm Unlimited over Wurm Online, based on, the skill gain and the changes to RNG, are what? What are the main changes?
This would be a long conversation if you want to have it now.
Something simple. So from like skill 1 to 20 or something, you can't fail. Is that
now?
correct?
Am I going under the assumption that we know how the Wurm Online code works, or skilling up works?
It works differently. We know that.
Well, okay, Wurm Unlimited, for the first 20, you're right. I feel like you get a skill tick every single action. It's just like that boring, I hit, I get an action. I hit, I get the exact same action, or same skill tick. And that skill tick slowly goes down like it does in Wurm, but it's consistent. And then once you hit 20, it turns to you need to have a successful action in order to get the skill tick. So this means you need to increase your tool quality. The better skill you have, the more chance you have a successful action, et cetera, et cetera. But I would imagine that once you get to really high levels, every single action is successful, because that's how it is in Wurm Online.
But, you're calling it boring. Why is getting a skill tick each time boring for you?
It's not boring. It's just that all of that mystery and figuring it out, and we made a whole video on optimizing your skill gain. There was strategy to optimizing your skill gain, and then we're just sort of taking that away and replacing it with the only strategy is just keep doing what you're doing. Like, keep increasing your skills, increase your tool quality, and you don't have to really think about optimizing. Everybody will be optimized already, so you don't have to even question how to optimize your skill gain.
So instead of all or nothing, like whether you get a skill tick or not, why not the optimizing your skill gain is whether you get more skill than less skill per action? But no matter what, you always get action. You always get like some kind of skill. Would that still be okay?
Maybe. If there was some change that made it so that we all had to go test everything and figure it out again, and learn the best strategies, and I'd be okay with that as well. I just fell, and I can't put the stuff back into the wagon, so I have to walk really slowly back to the...
I didn't even see you. You fell off the bridge, didn't you?
I didn't really fall. That happened was I embarked onto the onto the wagon to move it forward, and it kicked me off and put me below.
So a wagon bug, a wagon bridge bug.
Pretty much.
That's funny.
And now I'm actually stuck. Oh no, I know how to go. Oh, it's a long route around.
You're not stuck. Take the door down there.
Yep, I have to take the door. It's just slow going.
All right, and I think a lot of this stuff got brought up in the thread on the forums, where, and even more so, like, should Wurm be like real life?
That's a big question.
That's a question for another day. But if you think about it, because this got brought up, so people were saying, hey, if you use a high quality skill tool, you should gain more skill points than using a low quality skill. Game wise, that might make sense, right? It's a better tool. So why can't you get better skill? It's not how Wurm works. Wurm works, if it's a lower quality skill tool, you would get more skill per action than a higher quality tool. But shouldn't it be like you got this high quality tool that took a long time to make? Shouldn't that give you more skill?
I don't know. I mean, the higher quality tool will be like sharper and more accurate and make it so that you can make things higher quality. I think that makes sense.
And I think,
does it make sense to have give better skill? Maybe.
Well, I looked at it like this. Let's say I want to saw a log.
Okay.
And I used the best quality saw that I could find. Right. It's so sharp. It's like razor sharp. It's so easy to just move back and forth, and it just kind of like goes through the log like nothing. Right. So it just goes right through with little effort. And
we're talking like this is in real life. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then let's say I got like a really dull, old, used saw. Okay. And I go through that same log, and it's not going through, so it's really tough to saw straight. It takes a lot of strength for me to do it, a lot of focus, a lot of energy.
Okay.
Which tool in real life is making me a better woodcutter?
I suppose the dull tool.
Right. So
because okay. That
shouldn't.
Makes sense.
So doesn't Wurm already make sense? I get better quality logs or better quality planks or whatever if I use the high quality tool. But right. I don't gain any skill because it's so easy for me to use it.
Okay. Now, that makes sense in real life, and I suppose there is an argument for there is some beauty in having a video game that mimics real life.
And that's Wurm. And the end. So we're like, and this is what I didn't understand. Like, people were saying the opposite.
Right.
Like, well, it's a higher quality tool, and I can see if it's a high quality tool, the argument that it should give you more skill, only in the sense that, in like a gaming sense, like, it makes sense in a game. You spent all this time working on this tool or whatever, or getting this tool from a high quality craftsman, that tool should be really good to use for anything that you use it for. I want to use it for skilling, it's really good. If I want to use it for... It's just not the way Wurm works. And there's a reason that's not why the Wurm works. But something to get back...
I must have bugged it when I got on it, and...
It's not really up here? Is that what's happening?
I feel like it's not really up here. It might be down at below.
Oh, that is so bad. Well,
Hmm.
oh, I just took 48 mooring ropes out of there. Let's switch that to 15. All right, so back to the RNG. Should we or should we not alter the way that it works in Wurm? Is
Yeah.
there enough evidence to take a look to make people more happy with their progress? Or is everybody happy?
I think that the developers are going the right direction in that with the announcement of the new Epic stuff,
Yep.
they are including the Wurm Unlimited way of skilling up. And I think that that's the right way to go. I think that it will give people the option of which one they like better. If you want less random number generation, at least like in the long run, the Wurm Unlimited skilling system will is tailored to that. It's a lot more consistent. And for the people who like the way Wurm Online is, then they can stay there. And I don't think that it would be a good idea to bring it to Wurm Online on the Freedom servers, specifically because people spent so much of their time skilling up this way that it would seem a little bit unfair.
Yeah, I spent so much time leveling this way. Forget about me. This is about the health of the game. Should we change? I feel like there should be. Here's the thing about Wurm. Everything's built differently from each other.
Mm-hmm. But is it
people say that
the game to get people to pick?
Well, that's the thing. Things are not symmetrical with each other. Things are not,
Yeah, but look at what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Epic switches to Wurm Unlimited. People who play Wurm Unlimited may feel a lot more comfortable going to Epic because of that.
What's the problem with that?
There's no problem. And I think that it's good the way that it is separated like this. So, players have an option. Players can play on Freedom and continue to play on Freedom with the old way of skilling up. Or people can go over to Epic if they prefer that way. And I think that's the best option.
I still say Wurm Online can improve itself.
Okay.
By including some of these things. And what I'm trying to get at is that since everything in Wurm Online, or everything in Wurm in general, is different to each other, that let's say we wanted to just change meditation to make it less tedious or more fun. Right. We could do that. We could just change meditation and be okay. Don't touch any of the other skills. I like the fact that nothing is the same. Everything seems to be built differently, meticulously, in a different type of way. I mean, for example,
like
digging.
Like a clockmaker makes this unique clock.
Digging and mining, they seem like they should be very similar, but they act in a different way from each other.
Yeah, very different way.
Yeah. But they could have easily been the same. They could have been the exact same system, done with different tools and producing different results. But it's not quite like that. It's, they have these differences. How about dredging?
Right.
It's the same as digging, but it's not the same as digging. They decided to alter and make it different. Everything in Wurm is like that, and everything in Wurm is better for that. So we can go through what we already have and make it less tedious, but still keep the amount of time, don't touch the amount of time it takes to get the skill. Just make it more fun.
Right, make it more fun.
And I think that's where we're going to leave it with this.
Yep.
Don't change the time that it takes. Just make it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care, everyone.